hate that sound so much. I got to get a new chair. I've been saying that for like a month now.
It only does it when you don't want it to happen, though.
I know. Well, because this is my second chair. The first one fucking broke because it sucked. This one just makes noise. But if I try
How heavy were you?
Oh, there we go. Oh, no, it stopped. How heavy was I when I
When
broke
you broke it?
Like 195. Literally 20 pounds, well, like 15 pounds lighter than I am now.
You're going down in weight right now.
I am.
Are you sticking to your diet?
Yeah, well, thick boy summer's coming to a close.
Not yet.
Yeah, we're getting there. What is it? September 21st is fall. So it goes June 21st, June, July. Well, June to July, July to August. August, yeah.
Yeah, September 21st.
Or August 21st. I think it's August 21st. I don't know, man. Who gives a shit?
September, October, November would be fall. December, January, February, March, April, May is spring. June, July, August. Yeah, June, July, August is summer.
I don't know, man. Who cares? You're right, though. It is. It's September 21st is fall.
Fuck yeah. I'm right.
So fucking Aaron Rodgers just came out that
Of the closet. Oh.
It's 2021. That doesn't matter anymore.
No, good for him.
He's so brave. Do you still think it's brave to come out?
I'm not answering that question.
No. So like the white straight dude in me would be like, no, who gives a fuck? It's not brave anymore. Like people are accepting, but
Right.
there
It's
are
still
still
hard.
there are still people who don't though.
Right.
And I've had clients like that too. I can't imagine that, man. Like imagine if you grew up in like a very traditional like Christian household and you coming out to your parents, you're hoping, it's not like you kind of like fucked up and you're hoping they forgive you. Like you're hoping they accept
you.
part of who you are. Like,
Right.
I can't imagine that,
I
man.
can imagine that.
Yeah, that's nuts. Could you imagine if people came out as straight?
Which, with how things are going, I think it's going to be one of those things that you, as a kid, you won't identify one way or another.
Yeah.
And then at some point in your life, you come out straight or gay.
Yeah, I could see that at a certain point. I think eventually it will be something where people don't assume whether you're gay or straight or bi or more fluid or pansexual, whatever. I think that's something that will end up being like a way, almost like how people now, when they introduce themselves, like a lot of people, not a lot, but some people like tell you their preferred pronouns.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm Connor. My pronouns are he and him. I don't do that. But like some people do. I think people will end up maybe doing that like with their sexuality at some point too. And who knows? I could be way off. But we'll fucking see in the next like 5 or so years.
I'm going to take a hard right turn because...
Yeah, let's go back to Aaron Rodgers. I don't even really want to touch on that. Because also, who gives a shit at the same time?
You do you.
Yeah, do your thing. We don't really care. Do what makes you happy. That's what we're all about here at the 5-year plan. Unless it's meth or heroin, don't do that, even if it does make you happy. Because it won't in the long term.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was waiting till we turn this on.
We got to get a fucking sponsor by Zen, huh?
We should.
Speaking of, we do have an affiliate deal now with Redcon 1 supplements. So they have great whey protein. They have MRE Light, which is a animal protein powder, and they're about 25 grams of protein for about 120 calories. Really good formulas that they have there.
It's 30 grams.
30 grams?
25 or 30.
25 or 30. Amazing flavor options they have. They all taste great.
Honestly, it's the only protein powder. Like, I have 5 different flavors right now.
Yeah.
And every night I make a different flavored oatmeal with protein. It's fucking dessert.
I have some banana nut spread on the way right now.
That one's good.
Yep.
And that one's actually really good with coffee.
Oh, I believe it. And then the other one I have is a strawberry shortcake that's on the way as well. And those are great because you can just mix those with almond milk. Like some protein powders, they taste just so bland that you have to mix them with some fruit or maybe some like peanut butter and honey or whatever. And like these ones, you just straight mix with water, almond milk, and they taste awesome.
So Premier Protein came out with like a protein cereal. And me and Forrest were at Costco the other day and we got some of it. We ended up mixing whole milk with that strawberry shortcake.
Yeah.
The strawberry shortcake, and then poured that on top of this cereal. Holy fuck. I orgasmed in my mouth.
called a mouthgasm.
Yes.
You mouthgasmed?
That's gonna be a good clip.
So the protein powder is awesome. I've only had pre-workout probably 3 times in the last 5 years, and every time it's been Redcon 1. It's been their
Total War,
and
that stuff's
great.
aggressive.
I have. I'm gonna order one of those pump products that they have as well to try.
I used one of those for my show.
Yeah, so I'm excited to try those out.
Honestly, even their BCAAs just taste good.
Yeah. If you have the extra money to
$20
spend
a month,
and you like some
$30 a
flavored
month.
water, then definitely hop on that. They also have creatine monohydrate. So the next time you stock up on supplements, I really love MRE Light. I love the formula. Their whey protein isolate is really good as well. So honestly, for the price that you get these for, like $45 for a 2 pound tub, which is about 30 servings. Really competitive pricing, which is awesome. So I definitely recommend pretty much all of Redcon 1's products, mostly their protein, their pre-workout, and their creatine.
I was going to say, because they got a bunch of kind of garbage supplements like the testosterone booster, the fat burners.
Yeah.
What was the one that I was just talking about? We just pulled it up. Apple cider vinegar.
Yeah. Some of that stuff, you probably don't waste your money. But with the protein powder, the creatine, and the pre-workout,
I'd say be careful with the pre-workout, though, because it's
pretty high in caffeine, 325 or 350.
It's 350, but there's also, so that's like the caffeine.
Yeah.
But then there's like green tea extract. I think there's like 70 milligrams of that.
Okay.
At least the Total War that I was getting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fucking aggressive.
Oh, I believe it. So maybe start with a half scoop. And if you order those, we'll have a link in the description below the timestamps. And we'll have 2 links. We'll have one link that you can click on that will give us a kickback and helps make us money to allow us to keep doing what we do here on the podcast, and you're, indirectly supporting the show. And we'll have another link under that. If you hate us and you don't want us to make money, that'll just be the link to the website. And either way, we recommend these products. So you can either buy them and make us money, or you can buy them anyway and say, fuck you, we don't like you guys, and that's fine too. Either way, we support Redcon 1, and we think their products are great. And next time you stock up on some supplements, definitely give them a try.
I mean, fuck yeah, that was our first ad read.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
So Aaron Rodgers turns down a fucking contract.
Yeah, that was a roundabout way of going to that.
Roundabout way. We're all tying it all back together. You see, you didn't know what we were doing at first, and then we went around this way. We took the scenic route, and then fucking boop, we're
smack dab right back in the middle.
Right back. You had no clue what we were doing. We knew all along. We had no idea.
We had no idea.
No. So this deal would have made Aaron Rodgers the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, above Patrick Mahomes.
So it would have been a 2-year extension.
Mm-hmm.
Kept him in Green Bay for the next 5 years. I don't know if they released what it would have been.
I don't think they did.
But so Mahomes was $500 million over the course of the next 10 years. So he's making an average of $50 million a year. Aaron Rodgers turned down a deal that would pay him more than $50 million a year. He wants out of Green Bay.
Not only he wants out, it also tells you it really wasn't about the money.
Well, so when I was back in Minnesota, I ran into one of my buddies from high school. I say buddy, a kid that I knew from high school. He's actually on the Clippers now.
Oh, wow.
And we were talking for a little bit, and his contract was up after this year. And I was asking him, like, oh, where are you going to go try and join a team to win a championship? He's like, no. For the first handful of years you're in the league, you want to make money. After those first handful of years, once you kind of have a good foundation, that's when you go for the championship. Rodgers has the money that he needs. I mean, he's set. His kids are set. His grandkids are set. Like, that dude has more money than he knows what to do with. If I were him too, I'd want a fucking ring. I mean, he's talked about one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, but as of right now, he only has 1 ring to show for it.
Yeah. No, it's true. And he has the same number of wins in NFC championship games as Rex Grossman.
Fucking Rex Grossman.
Who's counting? I want to know where he's going to end up. I don't know if he sits this year out or if he gets traded to, I think the Broncos would be the most likely
the Broncos are the most
team
likely
to trade. Um, I was reading somewhere there are a few reporters who think that they might try to wait it out to the season to see if maybe he just shows up, and then they're like, maybe if it's right before the trade deadline and obviously he's still not playing, they might be like, all right, fuck it, he's obviously not playing, let's trade him while we can get something for him.
Well, I think if he takes this next year off, his stock is going to go up because one of the things lately has been his injuries.
Mm-hmm.
He played a full season last year.
Yeah.
But however many years before that, I mean, he had the collarbone injury.
It was against the Bears.
No, it was the Vikings.
There's another game where he hurt.
Anthony Barr was the one who broke his collarbone.
Okay, there were a few years ago where like the Bears, they sacked him. I think they threw him down on his shoulder or something, and he was out for a while.
Oh, so I think that's what it was because I think that might have been the year after Anthony Barr fucked him up.
Oh, okay. I think this might have, what I'm thinking of might have been like 2015, 2016, like a while back.
Oh, was it the shoulder injury?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was before the collarbone, I think.
Okay.
But did he have a knee injury? Or it was the ankle?
Yes.
Ankle injury.
I think he was playing through that last year.
Yeah.
Like he got hurt, but he kept playing.
But I mean, like,
he's a tough dude.
He is a tough dude, but you take a year off. I mean, don't take hits. Let the body actually recover and get back.
But you could also look at that as
It's 1 year older.
Yeah. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. What's your prediction?
If he plays or not?
Or if he does, where he plays?
I think if he plays, it's going to be the Broncos.
Do you think that they're going to make a trade for him before the season starts? Or do you think the Packers will be willing to deal him before the season starts?
If Jordan Love could play, yes. But the fact that they haven't made a move tells me that Jordan Love is not the answer.
Oh, for sure.
Weren't they trying to trade for Teddy Bridgewater?
I heard that. I don't know if it was true or if it was just rumors. I think that it'll depend on what happens in training camp, on whether he shows up. Because this episode's going to come out on Tuesday. I think the Packers report for training camp on Monday of next week. So we're recording this on Wednesday. It's the 21st. Probably have it out by next Tuesday. And yeah, I think most teams report to training camp on Monday. Maybe some of them on Tuesday. I think there's a couple teams that report on Thursday or Friday this week.
Oh, shit.
So that's exciting, but I wonder if he doesn't show up in training camp, if they'd say, all right, we need to trade him, or if they'll wait. Maybe they'll try to wait till the end to see if maybe he shows up at the end of training camp, maybe preseason. I wonder if the Packers will get to a point where they say, okay, we need to get something from him before, because this is his last year on his contract, right?
No, I think he's got
2
a couple
years?
years left.
Okay, so it'll be interesting to see if they go, hey, well, you know what? Fuck him. He can't play for anyone else unless we trade him.
Right.
We're going to make him play. Or if they'll start to realize, shit, he's going to sit out for 2 years anyway. We might as well get something for him. And I have no idea how they're going to play it because they've already fucked it up.
Yes.
And at this point, it's kind of unpredictable because of how much they've done so poorly. It almost reminds me of the Bears situation with Allen Robinson. Because apparently there's been no talks of contract extensions yet, and they could have extended him at any point last year, and they didn't. He wasn't happy about the franchise tag, and I think the reason he signed it is because he realized that the receivers in the offseason were not going for a ton of money, and he wasn't going to get $20 million anywhere else. And I think the franchise tag is 16 or 17.
But it takes the average of the top 5 players at that position.
Okay. So we offered him, it was either 16 or 18, something like that.
Okay.
And he wanted 20 million. So he kept saying no. And as much as I love Allen Robinson, I think if you're a number one, a true number one, he doesn't have the speed of a guy
to be a true number one.
No, I think he's a number one. I just don't think he's a 20 million a year guy. As a number one.
So I would look at that
because
as
he doesn't have
the best number 2.
He's better than the best number 2 on any other team in the NFL. He's a top 10 receiver, but he doesn't have. What I'm saying is he doesn't have the breakaway speed to get paid in that top tier money.
I see.
If you're top 5, 100%.
Would you say he's better than Thielen and Jefferson? Because that's how I look at it. Thielen and Jefferson are both phenomenal receivers, but because there's 2 of them.
I'd say Thielen.
It helps out the other one.
It's tough. I think Thielen is and Robinson are pretty close.
Okay.
Um,
Right, because
I
so
think
Thielen could
Jefferson-
be a 1,
yeah,
but Jefferson takes over the 1, and it opens it up for Thielen
Yeah.
to.
I was gonna say Jefferson will be better
Yes.
than Robinson. But he'll have another year and this year to develop. Who knows? He might be better this year. I don't know. But I think it's also incredible the numbers Allen Robinson has put up when his 2 quarterbacks have been Blake Bortles and Mitch Trubisky, and then Nick Foles for a few weeks too. The fact that he's put up the numbers he has with that is insane.
Yes. Well, so and here's where I'll give the Vikings credit, because they attack those contract extensions before it ever becomes an issue.
Yeah. What's Thielen getting paid a year right now?
Oh fuck! He said he just signed a bit. I think his contract was like $90 million over the course of 5 years.
Okay.
I want to say he got his paycheck.
Yeah, he did, and he deserved it. It was earned.
Harrison Smith he's gone through like 3 or 4 contract extensions.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Barr, another one. I think he actually took a pay cut to stay with the team because he ended up getting injured and was like, I don't want that to be my last, like the last taste in my mouth as a Viking fan or as a Viking player.
Yeah.
But they do a really good job at extending contracts, and I think they give bigger signing bonuses because signing bonuses don't count against the cap, right?
No.
Yeah. So they give a lot more money guaranteed up front.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously you have Kirk Cousins, who's fully guaranteed and everything.
Yeah.
You want to hear something funny?
Mm-hmm.
So I just got a DM from the girl,
Oh yeah.
and she said, OMG, 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 your dad walking in. I cannot.
That's funny. She probably wishes
She follows me on Instagram.
She probably wishes that she was the one that your dad walked in on you with.
That was.
Oh, that I
Yeah,
thought,
that one.
Oh,
No.
I thought you were talking about the girl that sent you that video the other day.
No.
Oh, the girl that actually.
Yeah. I forgot she follows me on
That is
Instagram.
funny, man. Yeah, we're keeping all of that on the podcast. So
I'm not a hoe.
Anyway, Justin Fields met this fan who got shot in the back. Like, what was it?
4 times?
A few times, yeah. He was just like walking down the street, and got shot. And he was in the ambulance, and he's on his way back, and he was like, just in his head thinking, where is it? Here's a quote. He goes, within a couple moments, I thought, well, I'm 41. Pretty much all of Chicago has gone our whole lives without even having great prospects for a franchise quarterback. I can't die before seeing Justin Fields take the field. I don't plan to die before he's a Hall of Famer.
That
And
gives me fucking goosebumps.
yeah, and Justin Fields goes and meets this guy and his family.
At the hospital?
No, at his house. So he ended up like making a full recovery and everything.
Damn.
Because the initial story on him didn't come out until like a week ago, so 3 weeks after.
Oh,
incident.
shit. Okay.
And then a week later, Justin Fields meets him and his family.
See, that I have respect for Justin Fields now.
Yeah, that's
He hasn't
pretty
done
awesome.
anything on the field yet, but like doing stuff off the field for fans,
Yeah,
like that's what it's all about.
yeah, I agree. I think if there's one thing the whole Aaron Rodgers situation has shown us, it's that the Packers fans are just as delusional as Bears fans. And
Everyone's
I'll
fans.
tell you what I mean. Yeah, everyone's fans. But Bears fans, we're delusional in a sense that a lot of the fan base is like already saying Justin Fields is going to be Rookie of the Year and blah, blah, blah. He's going to be an All-Pro and a potential Hall of Famer. And I'm like, we've never seen that. I think he's going to be good. I do. But we can't say how good until we see him play against the best talent in the world.
Right.
I hope that all that's true. But again, we haven't seen him play one snap. So we're getting way ahead of ourselves here. And Packers fans are delusional in the sense where they just have this blind faith and trust that, no, Rodgers is going to play. This is all overblown. It's way overblown. Rodgers isn't going to play. Like, all right, well, we'll fucking see.
He would have taken the contract.
Yeah, I mean, hell, we got a trainer that at our gym, and he's a Packers fan. And every time I ask him, he goes, "No, he's gonna play. He'll show up. He'll show up to training camp."
I think that's the denial stage.
Oh, 100%. Then it's gonna be, what is it, bargaining after that? They're gonna be like, "Well,
It's denial then acceptance.
no, it goes like denial, depression, bargaining, something else acceptance. There's like
Was
5
acceptance
stages
like
of
the
grief.
acceptance is
It's
the
the last
fourth?
one.
Is it?
It's the last one, yeah.
I thought like taking action was.
No.
Well, I mean, I was gonna Google it, but I don't know what to Google.
Stages of grief.
Ah, that's what it's called.
I'll Google it. Stages.
I know there are for sure 5 stages.
7. So you're
7?
for sure wrong. So shock
fuck
and
me.
denial. So you thought acceptance comes right after denial. No, it's the last one. So shock and denial, pain and guilt, anger and bargaining, depression, the upward turn, reconstruction and working through. So that'd be action, acceptance and hope.
So I'm in the final stages of finding a therapist then. I've accepted I need a fucking therapist.
So I guess acceptance for Green Bay fans is going to be that they understand that Rodgers isn't coming back, but then they're going to have a false hope.
That Jordan Love's going to be the next.
Yeah.
I will say, though.
I will tell them, welcome to quarterback mediocrity.
Yes.
Where the Bears have been for all of their history.
Same with the Vikings.
Enjoy it. Take your time. Relax.
Well, that's because Packer fans are delusional because in the last 30 years, they've had 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
Those fans are not used to having dog shit quarterbacks.
And it's the same thing with the Vikings in the running game.
Yeah.
We got blessed with Adrian Peterson
Yeah.
and then Dalvin Cook. Like, I don't know what it's like to have a shitty running back.
Yeah. Bears have had a few for sure.
Bears are on the uprise though.
Yeah.
Right? What's your are you in the bargaining stage right now?
No. I think we'll go 7-9 or 9-7 this year. Or sorry,
no,
7-10.
17 games.
Yeah, I'd say 7 to 9 wins. So either 7-10, 8-9, or 9-8.
Okay.
That's gonna be my guess. And
I think the Vikings will go 14-3.
no chance.
What stage am I in?
Fucking, you're way far off. You're just straight up delusional.
Yeah. You're not even at step 1 yet.
Yeah, you're still at step 1. You've been in step 1 for a while.
Yeah, I'm probably never going to get out of it.
Yeah.
Does that mean I've accepted that I'm never going to get out of it, so I'm past everything then?
No.
There's levels to this, isn't there?
You're in denial. You've been in denial for a long time.
Long time.
Yeah.
This is the biggest medium shirt I've ever been in.
It's so large.
It says medium.
Does it?
I think so.
Oh, maybe it is a medium. I don't know.
No, I'm swimming in this shirt,
Very
though.
well, could be. That's weird though, because you're supposed to be bigger now, huh?
Supposed to be. I think I'm bigger in my belly. Jesus.
I feel like we have not talked about our training in a while.
We used to talk about that every week.
Every week, yeah.
Are we less full of ourselves now? Or
No.
I was gonna say my head's fucking big.
You physically, you have a big head.
Physically. And now. What's the term? Literally, physically,
Figuratively. There you go. Words are hard.
Yes.
So how is your training going? Because I programmed for you for a training block, and then you were kind of not sure whether you wanted to go through with powerlifting or and whatnot. So what are you doing right now?
I don't think I'd said on the podcast that I'm not powerlifting anymore.
Yeah, you for sure called it.
Yes, just because I haven't. Like deadlifting, I'm still using your programming.
Yeah.
For my deadlifting, but bench press, I kind of lost the motivation to increase my bench and it doesn't suck, but it sucks compared to the rest of my lifts. And then with squatting, just on one slip away in my back from.
You are not far from a state record in bench, so shut the fuck up about having a weak bench. But I get that from squatting though.
Yeah, so the squatting is a big thing. So I've definitely taken more of a hypertrophy. Jesus Christ, more of a hypertrophy route. So I'm using Blaine's. I don't know, split kind of deal where it's still hitting each muscle group, like frying it out once a week. And then the second time is a little bit less intense. So I'm still hitting every muscle group at least twice a week. I don't know how long I'm going to stick with that because I like the frequency aspect of it. Like if it was up to me, I'd hit each muscle group 3 to 4 times a week, just at a lower intensity. But like my fucking quads today it's hard to stand up and like kneel down. So I don't know. I enjoy my training right now. it's a different approach because I'm not lifting near the weight outside of deadlifting that I could, but I'm also doing sets of 10 to 15. I've actually added in supersets for the first time.
I was going to say,
ever.
I saw you doing supersets the other day. I was like, that's not
Yeah.
like Zach.
No, like literally this is the first programming block that I'm programming for myself that I have done supersets.
Why'd you decide to do that?
Just, it's a novel stimulus.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that I've hit my genetic potential or whatever, but I've been doing the same style of training for so long. I figured, again, try it for a month, see how it goes.
Yeah.
And when I say supersets, I'm still taking a minimum of 30 seconds from exercise to exercise, and then a minute break.
So it's almost more like a cluster set.
Yeah.
Okay.
Than a superset.
That's interesting. It's funny you talk about frequency because I was just reading a few research articles that were talking about that, and it was there was a phase where people started really obsessing over frequency and how often you hit a muscle group per week because initially when bodybuilding magazines came out and bodybuilding.com and everyone would read about the what we now call the bro split, right, where you and one day you hit chest and then back and then shoulders and then legs and then arms, right? And I used to kind of like shit on those splits and talk about why they're dumb because you need a higher frequency for like natural lifters because you're spiking muscle protein synthesis more often and all that. And that stuff in terms of muscle protein synthesis, it's true that you're going to be maximizing muscle protein synthesis more frequently per week, like twice per week, right? And a lot of the argument was you get diminishing returns after you're doing a certain amount of sets in a workout. And so they'd say, well, that's why instead of doing 20 sets of chest in one day or 15 in one day, however many you're doing, if you split that up into two different days, you'll do better. But there was a study that came out maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and there's been a few, but it's like really been replicated consistently now, that your training frequency actually doesn't affect muscle growth when volume is equated and when both groups were progressively overloading their movements, so they were getting stronger. Your training frequency is actually not that important when it comes to muscle growth. And I say training frequency in terms of whether you hit a muscle group 1, 2, or 3 times a week. Now, there's anecdotal differences maybe in like shoulders, like for let's say lateral delts, to get the right amount of volume that you need and not spending 2 hours in the gym on your shoulder day or chest and shoulder day or whatever, that it would just not be worth it to spend that much time in the gym. So maybe then, okay, adjust your frequency for that or whatever. And I think there's also an argument to be made when people say, well, you get diminishing returns after a certain amount of sets in your workout. Well, okay, diminishing returns, when you get to that point, it's different for each person, and it depends on your exposure to a specific stimulus, right? But you could argue that most people are probably doing too much volume. They're doing a lot of junk volume. They want to do more because they think more is better, but maybe instead of adding more sets to your workout, you should focus more on improving your technique and training more intensely, pushing harder, getting stronger, and things like that. But I think bro splits have a lot more legitimacy than a lot of people believe right now. But for strength, frequency is important.
Yes.
For muscle growth, not as much.
And for me, it's more about like, I feel good. And so this also could play into the intensity that I've been working out at. But like, I haven't been sore. Like when I was training, the last 3 years, I can count on one hand how many times I've been sore after a workout. And I'm talking like, not like, oh, I feel it the next day. I'm talking about like, I can't fucking sit down. It's hard for me to lift my arms up over my head.
Yeah.
And it could be the intensity that I'm going at, or just by hitting it 3 times a week, it also helps with the recovery aspect of it. So instead of like frying a muscle and then doing nothing with that for the rest of the week and then hitting it again next week. So I don't know. could that be part of it, or is it just I'm training at a higher intensity and
Probably a little bit of both, because you definitely have the higher intensity will do that for sure. But also, when you end up moving later in the week, you can end up kind of just that movement promotes more blood flow to that muscle, can help
Right.
with recovery. So that's why you see a lot of times with power lifters when they structure their workouts for the week. Let's say you're squatting 3 times. Your first squat session in the week, you're going to want to have that when you're your most fresh. So let's say you have like heavy sets of 2 or 3. That would be on your first day. Your second day would be more of a technique day or a power day where you're trying to move lighter weight a little bit more explosively because you're going to be a little bit fatigued already. But on top of that, just that movement is going to help you feel a little bit less sore. It's going to help get more blood flow to that area. And then your third squat session of the week would be more volume based. So maybe that's sets of 6 or 8, sometimes maybe even 10.
It's fucking hilarious that you say sets of
case.
6 to 8 being a volume.
It is for me.
No, I know it is.
Yeah. And so with hypertrophy work, you can go into that being more fatigued and still perform well versus strength. Like in lower rep ranges, it's a lot harder to go into that and do really well fatigued. So from a standpoint of like feeling less sore, the frequency being higher can actually help with that.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I noticed.
Dude, think about when your legs are feeling sore or whatever, and you just do like some body weight squats, like you kind of feel better already.
Yes.
It's that same concept, except you're just moving lighter weights.
And that's how I've been like, because Monday through Saturday, that's like the big meat and bulk of my program. And then Sunday's kind of my fuck around day where I'll go full body, like 40 to 50% of the weight that I know I can lift. Again, focusing more on form, technique, moving the weight efficiently, feeling it where I want to feel it. And then I come in on Monday and I'm like, I feel better just from that added movement on Sunday.
Yeah.
To, all right, now let's get after it.
For sure.
Oh, you though, you just got off, I guess, what was it, last week was your fucking RPE send it on squats.
Oh, I have it every week.
You do that every week?
Every day, every week.
Oh, God. That was so much fun to watch.
Yeah. So I have a heavy squat single 4 days a week.
Fuck.
And my leg volume is pretty low in general. Like I think outside of my squats, I have 1 set of myo reps on leg extensions.
Explain what myo reps are.
So that would be where you do an initial, we call an activation set from like 10 to 20 reps. Then you take about 15 seconds and then you do a set to failure. And you do about 3 of those clusters to failure after the initial activation set. So it's basically 4 sets with 15 seconds between each one. And you get a similar amount of hypertrophy that you would from just doing 3 straight sets, but it takes a fraction of the time. So when you have...
It's like a minute and a half.
Yeah. So when you have like a lot of sets of big lifts with like squat and bench, it's really time consuming, especially when the reps are lower, you need longer rest time. And when you do the myo reps, it can just be a little bit more time effective, which I really like. And then the other part, the other leg volume I have is just 4 by 10 to 12 on the leg press. So it's pretty low volume, but like my first squat day, I have a variation. So I could do really anything, but I've been doing pause squats, and they don't have to be the same variation each week, but I've been doing pause squats on that first day. So I hit 365 on my pause on Monday somehow.
Oh, fucking good.
Then I'm shooting for 410 today on my just competition, like a low bar back squat.
I'm going to slap you in the back.
I failed it last week, and I should have fucking got it, and that pissed me off for sure.
Because you grinded out for like 2 seconds, and then you were just like, fuck this.
Yeah, I was probably half or 2/3 of the way up. Probably halfway up.
You should have gotten it.
I should have gotten it. I probably could have fought through. I'm going to today for sure. And then
perfect. I'll slap you and you'll be pissed off. And
0 chance. And then day 3 is I've been doing a safety bar squat just to help with keeping my torso a little bit more upright, getting a little bit more quads, because I have a tendency to shoot my hips back pretty quick out of the hole. And
with that safety bar, that emulates more of a front squat, right?
It does, but you don't have to have the shoulder and wrist mobility. And I have the shoulder and wrist mobility to get into a front squat. But the issue for me is it is uncomfortable on my collarbone or my shoulders, however I place it.
It's hard to take that deep breath.
Yeah, and I don't like doing the cross grip.
Yeah.
That one's uncomfortable. And every time after I finish front squats, I have a mark on my neck from the bar or by my neck, and it looks like I'm getting choked. And I don't need people to know my kinks and fetishes, but normally...
You know what helps with that, though?
If anyone is grabbing anyone's throat, I'm grabbing someone else's throat. And no, it's not dangerous. It's fine.
You know where to squeeze, how much pressure to apply. But you know what helps with that here? Just get a fucking bigger chest and bigger shoulders.
Fuck off. So anyway, I do the safety bar squats on that
You thought
day.
I was going to say something witty.
I did. And then on Saturdays, I have a tempo squat.
I mean, that's a lot. That makes me excited, though. I like squatting.
Yeah, and it's been fun. So I think with a peak and taper, I could probably hit 430 right now.
I was going to say, where do you think all your numbers are at right now?
Probably a 430 squat, probably 515 deadlift, and then probably a 265 bench is my guess. So I want to, in my next meet, I want to
What'd you hit for? You hit 250 in bench? 255?
258 and a half.
258 and a half.
So I want to get 275 on my bench. My meet's October 4th. So I want to get 275 bench. I want to get like a 530 deadlift and a 430 to 450 squat.
And I know this is going to happen when we're out in California. I'm going to see you fucking competing. I'm going to be like, damn, I want to do a powerlifting meet.
Probably.
Because that's exactly what happened last time.
Yeah, that is.
It is a fun atmosphere.
It's so much fun.
Which is why I'm glad you're doing it, so I can live vicariously through you.
Fair enough. And I'll say the same for the physique shows.
Yeah. You get dick skin shredded, I get stupid strong.
I probably will do one in the future. But
can we do a show together?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. You just can't beat me, though.
True. So we need to talk about this on the podcast because
I know what we're going to talk about?
You were kind of being a pussy about it when I brought it up.
No.
For our quick picks.
Oh, yes.
For the NFL this year.
They're taking this a different route.
We are. Where did you think I was going with this?
Bleach blonde hair with pink highlights.
Oh, yeah. No, we're going platinum blonde with pink highlights.
Platinum
for sure.
blonde.
So for our quick picks this year, for the teams that we pick to win each week in the NFL, we are going to keep our record of wins and losses for that.
You have an advantage because I think about the Vikings and what I want, not necessarily what I need.
So you got to be more strategic this year.
I don't know if I can.
Now, what we are going to do is we're going to put some skin in the game. Whoever has the worst record with their picks at the end of the year is going to get their favorite team's logo tattooed on their ass. So either I'm going to have a Bears C on my ass, or you're going to have a Viking head on your ass.
See, and here's the thing. If I lose, I actually think I'd rather have it on my chest.
Doesn't matter. It's on your ass.
Oh, it has to be on the ass?
Yeah, ass tattoos.
Ass tattoos? Okay, so here's my thought process behind that. I'm not opposed to that, but I don't know if that's the best thing. Like, when you come up with an idea, you are so sold on it that nothing else matters. And then later on, something better might come along, and it's like, oh, shit, that actually might have been a better idea. So I want to open it up to our listeners and have them come up with, we'll take like the top 5 or 7 or however many we need to make like a bracket. And then we can vote on it, and then the winner is what we end up doing.
I think that's an example of when you have this idea and you think it's really great. And
don't use my words against me.
A better idea comes along, and then you realize, oh, no, that's a better idea. So here's a new idea. We do
ass tattoos.
We do ass tattoos with our team's logo on them.
So you're not even going to let people throw in their ideas?
I will. But we'll take the top 3, and then, or we'll narrow it down to 2. And
4. We'll go 2 and 2, and then head to head.
Deal. We'll do that. And
fuck yeah, I'm right.
We'll have, so if you're listening, DM us on Instagram. Let us know what you think the bet should be. If it's ass tattoos, let us know. And if it's something else, and you just any other idea you have, do it. Go big or go home. We gotta beat dyeing your hair. So we've set the baseline.
Yeah.
We've set the
We're fucking aggressive.
We've set the bar high.
So let me just play this out in the future.
Thought you were gonna say play devil's advocate. I was about to get mad.
Let me play devil's advocate for a
Don't
second.
fucking say that.
Are we just are our asses just gonna be tatted up? Like, is this gonna be an every year kind of thing?
No, it'll be a different bet every year.
Because like, I think it'd be fucking hilarious if one of us had to like take the ACT again. Don't fucking lose.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we could we open it up to anything.
Or stand outside in a morph suit with a sign, like a promotional sign, for like 2 hours. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. So write us in your ideas. We want to know. We want to raise the bar a little bit.
And also, if you guys do play fantasy football, just tell us what the loser has to do, because I like hearing this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Of what you guys make your friends do when they lose in fantasy football.
One of my clients was telling me that he has a friend who's in a league, and whoever loses the league has to fly out to New York and take the bus all the way, or take the train all the way to LA, and then take the train all the way back to Chicago. He said it takes like a week.
That gives me anxiety.
That's fucking hilarious.
Be like, hey, sorry, I can't come into work. I have to take a train from...
Yeah. Lost my fantasy football league.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Could you imagine using all your PTO on a fantasy football loss?
Fuck that. Should we get into these questions?
Should I pull them up?
Yep. All right.
Question 1. Any advice for someone starting a reverse diet?
No.
No. Next.
So I'm kind of agnostic when it comes to reverse diets, and I know this is something that we've talked about at lengths, but if you were someone who does have an emotional attachment to the number on the scale, then a reverse diet is a really good option, because essentially what you do in a reverse diet is at the end of a fat loss phase, you slowly begin to add calories back each week. So sometimes it's anywhere between 100 to 200 calories per week. Most of the time, those extra calories are coming from carbohydrates and fats. And the idea behind it was that you build your metabolism up after a fat loss phase, and you can slowly work your way up to eating more calories and maintaining your weight than you were able to before. And there really isn't any research to show that reverse diets are effective in helping you build your metabolism. You're going to see most of that increase in metabolism in like your first year to 2 years of training. And then after that, it's not going to increase that much as you build muscle. Like, you'd be pretty surprised. But if you're going to reverse diet for body composition, like, don't bother. You could just go back up to maintenance. But if you're going to run a reverse diet, because there's two main valid reasons that I see. Number one, you don't want to see your weight jump right back up to like probably 3 pounds or so, because you're going to have more food in your gut. You're going to have more muscle glycogen, so water stores in your actual muscles. And you're just going to see that you're fucking heavier. And that's going to throw you off. You're also going to be holding on to more water in general, because there's going to be more food, more carbs, and things like that. But the other time where I think it could be beneficial, and I had my train of thought and I lost it. I was thinking that, the other way where I think it can be beneficial is if you are really like accustomed to those lower calories, if you've been in a fat loss phase for a while, then I gotta itch my nose right now, and it's bothering me in the middle of my thought. We're keeping this in.
He's picking his nose.
We're keeping this in. No, it's like the bottom of my nose on the outside. Oh, that's so annoying. Anyway, so if your appetite adapts just like your metabolism adapts as you go through a fat loss phase. But so
keeping that in too.
I hate myself now. Woohoo! So your appetite adjusts just like your metabolism. So you'll notice when you start a fat loss phase, especially if you're going from a bulk, and this is why I like to slowly drop my calories when I'm going from a bulk to a deficit, is you will feel noticeably hungry when you first start dieting. And then over time, you just kind of get used to it. And I also think part of that is just getting used to the feeling of hunger and understanding that that's normal. But you do have that adaptation with your appetite. And if you were to go from cutting to, let's say you're in a deficit of like 500-ish calories, if you were to just add in 500 calories to your diet, you're going to feel pretty full. It might even feel hard to get all those calories in. And so then you might start eating like more heavily processed foods just to try to hit your calorie number. And so a reverse diet can kind of help you get some solid habits in play, like keep your healthy habits that you have, but slowly like eat more. And you won't feel like super stuffed or bloated or anything like that. So I think there's merit in that. But I think the biggest thing, if you're going to do a reverse diet, either do it right or don't do it.
Yes.
So if you're going to do it, like you want to be very meticulous with it. So what I like to do is if I'm in a cut, I increase my protein to about 1.1 to 1.2 grams per pound of body weight, more so when I get leaner because my calories are lower, so it helps me feel more full and it helps me hold on to a little bit more muscle. As you get back to your maintenance calories, or maybe you reverse diet all the way into a surplus, then I totally lost my train of thought.
Dun, dun, dun.
If you are adding calories back to maintenance or in a surplus, you won't need as much protein as you would if you were cutting. And so what I'll do is until I get back up to maintenance, I'll stay where my protein's at, and I'll kind of add carbs and fats each week, and it'll be a total of like 150 calories per week. And once I get to maintenance, I'll bring my protein to about 1 gram per pound of body weight. And as I go into a surplus, depending on how big of a surplus, I might drop my protein to 0.8 grams per pound of body weight. But if you want to keep it simple, just stay at a gram per pound and then slowly continue to add another like 150 per week until your calories or you're in a surplus or you're at maintenance, wherever your goal is to be. Just be really consistent with those small jumps. And one thing that makes this easier because it's such a meticulous process is I give myself plus or minus 50 calories on either side of my goal. So let's say at the end of my cut, I finish at like 2,000 calories. The next week, I'm eating 2,150 calories, but really that's a range from 2,100 to 2,200 calories. And then the next week, it'll go up 150, so it'd be 23. So really my goal would be 2,250 to 2,350. And my goal is by the end of the week to be as close to 2,300 or whatever that calorie
average,
goal. Yeah, on average, to be as close as you can.
Yeah, so there's two approaches that I was thinking about this. One, the general public, when you are going just through a fat loss phase, the only benefit I see of a reverse diet is to keep that structure in your diet, because what you don't want to do is as soon as you finish a fat loss phase, just start eating like an asshole because, I'm done with my fat loss phase. And then...
Or a lot of people think once they get to that level of leanness that they like, they're like, I can just go back to eating how I was before now.
Right. And the answer is no. But the other approach, and this is what happened, what I experienced. So when you're taking it to an extreme, like an extreme cut, like you're stepping on stage for a bodybuilding show, if you don't take your reverse diet seriously, our body actually creates more fat cells. And so when you lose body fat, you actually don't lose fat cells. The fat cells just shrink in size.
Yeah.
When you are so restricted for so long, and then you go on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, you actually create more fat cells. So it makes it harder to get leaner next time you want to do that, which is, a lot of bodybuilders, and I'm going to say more like amateur bodybuilders, do this where year in and year out, they almost look worse and worse because they just go off the rails as soon as they're done with their show, and they pack on fat cells.
And I'll give you an example of that too, to just so people can understand kind of what you're saying. If you see people who are really big when they're young and they get older, and then you see like a guy, for example, like I have a couple clients who are like, well, I don't want my chest to get too big because then when I get older, it's gonna look like I have tits. Like, well, if you get fat, yeah, or if you like stop training and eat a bunch, then yeah, because that muscle tissue that you've built doesn't go away. It gets smaller, or as you gain fat, you still have that mass, and then it kind of looks a little bit more like fat. So just don't stop training and don't start eating like an asshole, and you won't have that.
Right. And for me it was more the mental, cuz I followed a rough reverse diet, but that was after I put on 17 pounds in 2 weeks. So like what Connor's saying, when you're going through a fat loss phase, you're not going to be losing, typically, you're not going to be losing more than 10 pounds of body fat in a cut.
I'd say 10 to 15, depending. Well, it depends where you're at. Like if you're already like you're training hard, you've gone through the bulk, you're getting ready for a fat loss phase. I'd say typically around 10 to 15 pounds.
Yeah. So I ended up losing probably close to 20 pounds of body fat, and that was by far the leanest I've ever been.
Granted, we also had a diet break, and we took that over 4 months.
Right.
Versus how most people would try to just do it as quickly as possible.
Right. So to me, following a reverse diet would have helped me more mentally, because I put on a lot of weight very fast, and I went from seeing veins in my abs to not seeing any abs. And it fucked with me for the first month. Like, I went through a little depressive state of like, fuck. Like, I went off the rails. So that would have helped me more mentally than physically, because I was going to lose the abs. I was going to lose the veins. Like, it would have just slowed that process down a little bit and allowed me to kind of process it through each step of the way.
Question 2. How much daily or weekly cardio is enough?
This is a very it depends answer. I'm going to speak more for strength training. The amount, if you're getting stronger in the gym, do as much fucking cardio as you want. If you see it start to hinder your gains in the gym or your performance or something like that, start to dial it back. So a lot of my clients that want to put on muscle, it's a lot of younger guys who are very active. They play basketball, they go on runs, they like to lift weights. If you're a hard gainer and it's super hard for you to put on size, muscle, whatever it may be, I would say err on the side of caution, and less cardio is going to be better, because if you have a super fast metabolism, plus you're playing basketball 5 days a week, you're going on a ton of runs, it's going to be hard to eat the amount of calories that you need to eat to start putting on weight. So I always just say focus on your performance. If you are getting stronger week in and week out of the gym, then absolutely cardio is not affecting that at all. If you're not getting stronger or your performance isn't going where you want it to go, I would say try and dial it back a little bit. Typically if we're talking about just generally being healthy, you can get cardiovascular benefits from resistance training. So you also got to look at why you're doing cardio. If you enjoy cardio, by all means, I will never tell you to do something that you enjoy doing unless we have to have that tough conversation of you're not getting to where you want to get because of X, Y, or Z.
Yeah. I think when we're asking how much cardio is enough, like, well, enough for what? Right? Enough for a marathon or triathlon, or, enough to reap the cardiovascular health benefits, or maybe enough cardio to lose weight, right? Like it all depends. So if you're asking this question, I'm assuming you're not training for a marathon or triathlon. Yeah. So we can go ahead and nix that one. But for general cardiovascular health benefits, you can get most of those through just living an active lifestyle, meaning if you're getting somewhere around 10,000 steps a day, that means you're pretty active, right? I really like to follow up my strength training sessions with about 15 to 20 minutes of cardio when I really feel like I should be doing more, or I just want to get my activity up. Maybe my steps aren't where they need to be. And so my favorite form of cardio when it comes to getting the most bang for your buck is the elliptical, because you can be in that kind of moderate intensity zone that you'll get the most benefit from health-wise. You can get into that zone without the impact of actually running. And I've noticed that one also hinders recovery the least out of most other cardio modalities. So I'd say number 2 behind the elliptical would be like a incline treadmill walk, and not where you're holding onto the handles and leaning back. Listen to me. If you hold on to the handles when you are doing an incline treadmill walk and you are leaning back while you hold on to those handles, it is no longer an incline walk. You are now just walking on the treadmill.
Yep.
And we're back.
Same thing with the fucking Stairmaster. Don't lean on the handles.
Yeah, that was my PSA.
Yep.
So the reason I don't love the Stairmaster is because if you do, have you ever done a 40-minute session on the Stairmaster?
Oh, it fucking sucks.
Your quads are fucking sore the next day. They're fried. Calves too. So I will say this: women tend to do better on the Stairmaster because their recoverability is better in general. And on top of that, they have a higher pain threshold in their lower body, which makes sense because they birth children.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say the other one that I used to really like was cycling. But what I started to realize is when I wanted to ride at a certain, I had maybe a target heart rate or a certain distance with that target heart rate, that my legs would be really fatigued because I'm not used to cycling like at all. So unless you're a kind of seasoned cycler, I don't recommend biking being your go-to cardio modality. I have a couple clients who are really into biking and they do it, and it's great for them because they can burn a good amount of calories without tiring their legs out. So I really like the elliptical. With that being said, I think a sweet spot for cardio, if you enjoy doing it, is somewhere around half of the amount of time that you spend strength training. So if you lift for 4 hours a week, let's say you do 4 sessions and each one's an hour long, maybe you do 5 and they're about 45 minutes long, then that gives you about 2 hours of cardio a week that's not going to really hinder your fat loss. And there's not a ton of research behind that, but I've just found once your cardio gets over 50% of the time you spend strength training, that's when you can start running into some interference. So the minimal effective dose with cardio would just be having that daily activity goal. And I think generally people don't like the minimal effective dose because they don't feel challenged, right? Like I think most people, you don't want to be average. That doesn't mean you want to be great or the best at everything or whatever, but you want to be above average, right? I think people take pride in that in certain things and feeling like they're above average, right? So I think you want to find that happy medium where, like, people talk about the Pareto principle all the time. They go, do the minimal effective dose, 20% of your efforts lead to 80% of the results. It's like, okay, 80%, that's a B. It's a B minus.
Yep.
Maybe you want a B plus. Maybe you could do 30% for 95% of the results.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, it's finding that medium threshold.
Medium.
Yeah, between maybe you are as high as 50% of your time strength training, and maybe you're at the minimal effective dose. Maybe you want to find somewhere in the middle. But anywhere between there, I found is great. But anything more, and you're gonna have a hard time getting stronger. You're gonna be probably using up too much energy on cardio. And anything lower is probably suboptimal for your cardiovascular health.
And what I will say too is I'm not anti-cardio. I mean, I hate cardio, but there were points in my life where throwing in some more cardio for me actually helped my lifts.
Yeah.
Because, try doing a set of 12 to 20 squats. Like, it's never the strength that's the issue. Yeah. It's the fact that I can't catch my breath after rep 8.
Yep.
Get the cardiovascular endurance. And I said it earlier, and I still will stand by this. When it comes to cardiovascular health, you can get that through resistance training.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to take your resistance training to the next level, maybe throwing in some cardio to make it so you're not gasping for air at rep 12 on a set of back squats will be more beneficial.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate cardio, but, like, I also know if I know, let's say I'm going to take a vacation to Colorado and I want to go hiking, I'm probably going to start hitting some
Yes.
cardio because that elevation's no joke. But I mean, yeah, I'm not like anti-cardio either. I just hate it. I hate doing it.
Yes. And I think people do it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll tell you what, I always love having done cardio because I feel good after.
Yes.
But I fucking hate doing it. And the other thing too is doing a lot of cardio really doesn't align with my goals. So I'm doing less of it now than I did when I was more aesthetic focused. So, there's benefits and drawbacks to everything, whether it's cardio or more resistance training. Like marathon runners don't want to do too much strength training. Like you don't want to have as much muscle mass on you. But anyway, roundabout way of saying, at least try to have a step count goal and increase your steps or something along those lines. But you probably don't want to be doing too much more than that 50% marker. If your goal is to maximize strength or body composition.
Question 3. Should you judge a trainer based on how they look?
Yes and no. So, yes, in the sense that you want to make sure that if you're hiring someone to help you change, improve your habits or, build muscle or lose fat, like, you probably want to know that they could at least do it for themselves if they wanted to, because if they can't do it for themselves, how are they going to help you do it? Right? Like you wouldn't hire a financial advisor who was broke or in debt. However, when I say judging a trainer based on how they look, I more mean, do they look healthy? Do they look fit? Do they look like they work out? Like they have good habits? Like if they look very like obviously out of shape, like, yeah, he probably won't want to work with that person. But there's one bodybuilding coach. His name's Hani Rambod, and he's helped some of the most successful men's physique competitors
And
in
women.
the world. And he's done an amazing job. And if you look at him, like he doesn't look that great. He's got some muscle on him, but he's chubby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's got a gut. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they don't know as much or they aren't as good. But like most of the time, trainers who tend to be in better shape are better trainers. But there's also trainers who are incredibly ripped and they're fucking awful trainers because they've been jacked for like a really long time. And their answer to a lot of their clients' struggles is like, well, you just need to be more dedicated. You got to be more dedicated, or yeah, it's supposed to hurt, and blah, blah, blah. And you'd be like, okay, man, fuck off. You're a hardo.
Yeah.
Like, you just want to make sure they're healthy. If they look healthy and you talk to them and they seem to know what they're talking about, like, then great. They don't need to be, like, dick skin shredded all the time for them to know what they're talking about. Maybe your trainer likes pizza more than he likes having abs, or he or she, right? For me personally, like I like having abs, but not all the time because I have to restrict too much. I enjoy going out, especially living in Chicago. Like I don't need to have a 6-pack year round, especially when it's fucking jacket season.
Yep.
But I think there's something to be said about walking the walk. So you want to be able to tell that your trainer also is working hard and pushing themselves and stuff like that. But, we also all go through our seasons of life where sometimes a trainer might get a little bit more out of shape because they're doing a fuck ton of sessions. A lot of times as trainers, we put our clients before our own workouts, and that can be really hard. So I don't think that makes or breaks a trainer. But regardless of whether you should judge a trainer based on how they look, like people do it. So it's going to happen. And as trainers, you kind of have to, you have to walk this line of, my body composition does not dictate my expertise. And you also have to be like, well, am I being lazy and not practicing what I preach, right? You have to find that balance. And there's some times where, there's seasons of life where you can put more effort into your fitness. Other times where like, okay, I'm working a ton and I'm making a lot of money and I can save a lot, but I don't have as much time to work out. And you got to be able to have like this bare minimum and know what you need to do to at least just stay, like, don't let yourself go totally off the rails. Because that happened to me when I first started training people in person. I got in the worst shape of my life because I didn't prioritize my own health. Roundabout way of saying, you
Yes and
can
no.
kind of judge based on how they look, but they don't have to be a fucking IFBB pro bodybuilder
Right.
to be a good trainer.
Right. And I mean, I just look at Olympic athletes, for example. Jesus Christ. Look at Olympic athletes.
We're both stumbling on our words
example.
today. There we go. You said it when I was talking over you.
Yeah.
Now say it without me talking over you.
Look at Olympic athletes, for example.
Woo-hoo!
Third time's the charm. A lot of their coaches weren't Olympic athletes, but they just know so much about whatever it may be to get someone else to where it is. And there's a lot of people, like I've had friends like that I played football with, not good football players, but they know so much about the game that they make phenomenal coaches.
Look at Andy Reid.
Right, exactly. But there is also that practice what you preach, where and that's my approach 100% to training is I won't tell someone to do something I'm not willing to do myself. So if I'm trying to tell my clients, you need to work out 3 times a week, who am I to say that if I'm not even working out 3 times a week? Or, hey, maybe you should cut back on, the sweets at night. Well, if I indulge in sweets every single night, who am I to say you should do this if I'm not even doing it myself?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's pretty much it for that one.
So yes and no. I'd say if you had to put a weight on it, like, I don't know, 30% on how they look. And I mean, honestly, it's really what they know.
Yeah.
But I think someone's going to be more receptive to taking advice from someone that actually practices what they preach.
Yeah. And I think there's also something to be said about the fact that people who are new to the gym might be intimidated by someone who's really big and jacked. They might want someone who just kind of looks healthy, like the everyday person, where they're like, hey, I don't want to look like you. I want to just look good when I go out. Mm-hmm. And so they just want a trainer that looks healthy and looks fit. And it's a lot less intimidating for some people. Obviously, just because, like, if someone were to come into the gym and tell you, like, well, I don't want to get as big as you or as lean as you, but I just want to look good when I go out. Yeah, and you're like, okay, that's fine. Like, your goal is your goal. It's not my goal. I don't need you to look like me.
Right.
I want to help you.
I mean, you couldn't even if you tried, but like,
I'd be like, I just want to help you look how you want to look, not how I want you to look, because that doesn't fucking matter.
Right. Again, I actually think it's more important the intimidation factor.
Yeah.
Because I've sat down in front of clients, especially when I was a week out from my show, and you can see it in their eyes. They're like, oh my God, this guy's going to either kick my ass, tell me I need to be on a strict meal plan or whatever. And, right then and there, one of the first things that I always say is, I'm a week out from a bodybuilding show right now. This is not how I normally look. And you can just kind of see like they can kind of relax a little bit. And like, I don't have to pretend I'm this super freak fitness fanatic guy that it's my way or the highway.
Yeah. Like, hey, I like beer. I'm ready to have beer once this fucking show's over.
And again, that's when I'm doing an assessment with someone, I always make a point to say how much I do enjoy going out and stuff, just to humanize. Because again, as a trainer, people, especially if you're in good shape as a trainer, people look at you like you don't have fun outside of the gym.
Dude, I talk about food all the time with my new consults and things like that. And even my clients too.
And I'm like, what's for lunch today?
I had one of my clients who told me, because I told him about our weekend last weekend, how we had a fuck ton of those Oreo brookies. We took double stuffed Oreos. We put a little mini brownie, and then on the top of that, we put cookie dough, and then we put the top Oreo cookie on there, and we ate a fuck ton of those.
So good.
Yeah, and I was telling my client, and he goes, "I'm so glad to hear that you eat like that sometimes, because sometimes I just feel like such a piece of shit, and I just think that you'd be so disappointed in me."
So there is that happy medium, though.
There is, but he also he's indulged, on the weekends sometimes here and there, but he's losing 1.5 pounds a week. So like, he's doing great. If he wasn't seeing progress and he was doing that, I'd be like, hey, let's talk about our habits on the weekends and explore some things and ask him some questions and kind of figure out something that he could commit to help him improve his habits. But, when you're doing well and you're, on track with your goals, then indulge a little bit. Probably shouldn't eat your body weight in Oreo brookies like I did, but the longer you've been consistent with your nutrition, the more you can kind of bounce back from a hiccup like that.
Well, because I've had clients before. I mean, me and Forrest always post all the sweets that we'd indulge in, And at first, my clients were like, I appreciate you posting that because it humanizes you a little bit. But it got to the point where a couple of them were like, you might not want to post all of that because you might be sending the wrong message to the wrong person that it is okay to eat like this frequently. Mm-hmm. So I know we're getting way off topic from.
We are, but I like talking about this because I think it's true. Because the intent can be good, because a lot of people in the online fitness space have done that, where they always share the shitty things they eat. Mm-hmm. And you actually made a post about this on your story a while back, and I remember seeing that, and I thought it was cool, where you're like, I think it was after you had a night where you posted a bunch of desserts and stuff, and you posted a picture of your meal, and it was like steak and veggies.
Yep.
And you were like, don't get it twisted. Even though a lot of influencers will talk about flexible dieting and all this stuff, this is what they eat a majority of the time. And that's
literally, I said 90% of the time, this is what I'm eating.
Yeah. And that's true. It's like steak, chicken, turkey, making it different ways, using different kind of seasonings, different recipes, and having a good carb source and a good veggie source with it. That's like 95% of our meals. And like we had Parsons hot chicken sandwiches the other day. Like that, those are the anomalies. Those are not the norm.
Well, and like that's the thing. Like last night, I posted a picture of the fried chicken sandwich, and I went home and I didn't post this, but me and Forrest made chicken, Brussels sprouts, and bacon.
Yep.
So like, yeah, I posted the shittier meal, but I also went home and ate a very healthy meal right after that.
Yep.
I'm a fat ass.
Yeah. Thank you for watching this episode of 5-Year Plan. If you like what we're doing here on the show, be sure to like and subscribe.
If you want one of your questions answered on a future podcast, you can write into our website at www.5yearplanmedia.com, or you can write into our Instagram page at 5yearplanmedia. You can find me on Instagram at @Z_Condon.
And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at ConnorYoungman_.
Peace.
See ya.